Bitcoin is currently seeing a rise from 60k guys back all the way higher to 70k. I have a new potential long to be taken on Bitcoin, and I've also, by the way, shared the news that I bought Bitcoin spot at 65k. I'll be discussing the higher time frame potential move on Bitcoin, whether we'll be bottoming out on Bitcoin or not, and possibly even taking the trade with you today, because obviously Bitcoin just opened the NY in the past hour. We got a move downwards. Will we be taking the liquidity of the weekend and then pump it upwards? If we pump upwards, where will I, to be honest, be looking to take profits? And also, will I be shorting Bitcoin if we pump? Because obviously, whatever kind of pump happens would still remain within the contextual move of a downtrend. As you can see, we are clearly downtrending, not only on the local time frame where we got a drop from 96k, by the way, where we caught an amazing short from, as you can see here, but obviously even on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is downtrending. So I need you guys to be careful, because even though we are currently at some massive support, like Bitcoin didn't out of a sudden or surprise me, because it bounced from 60k all the way higher to 70k, 72k even, because we have been discussing about the potential move downwards from I'd say 86.5 all the way lower to 67, and how we literally had a gap in volume in the past 2 years. However, I also told you guys that once we get the drop, once Bitcoin reaches that zone of 60 to 67k, we have to be potentially waiting and anticipating a move upwards, not necessarily the bottom, but maybe some sort of a bounce. And we literally got on that. As you can see, Bitcoin had the zone of volume. After literally having a gap, we went down and gapped down all the way lower. We hit the zone. We got the volume, the highest volume area in the past 2 years. Plus, we obviously got the anchored VWAP that literally indicates the holding of the uptrend that was started from the bottom of 16k. So we bottomed out on Bitcoin at 16k, and then currently we are hitting the uptrend anchored VWAP. So that makes sense to why Bitcoin did actually move upwards. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin has bottomed out. I literally, guys, been telling you, and I'm going to be repeating it again, that even though, or even if Bitcoin like goes high from now, or pumps from current price action at 70k all the way higher to 88k, I'm still going to be bearish, waiting for lower. Not because I know the future, but primarily because I understand market structure and just sticking with the trend unless or until it is broken. So even though Bitcoin can realistically, just because we had, I mean, 2 years ago, we had pumped very quickly from 67k all the way higher to 96k, and then obviously a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, we had seen that drop from 88 all the way lower back again to 67k. So it literally can repeat for the third time. I've been telling you guys that anything that we do on the lower time frame can be replicated on the higher time frame. And just because Bitcoin had witnessed a very quick move downwards, hit an important massive support zone, we can see some rally, a relief rally, where we get a move upwards. Not necessarily something I'm going to be expecting or predicting, but I'm prepared for it. I understand why it would happen. However, as I told you guys, that would not change the perspective that I got on Bitcoin, because even though we are downtrending, we can still have some half good of a bounces, and that would be maybe part of it, where we move upwards, maybe get stuck at 80k and then drop, or continue to 88k and then drop. So unless Bitcoin reclaims 88k, I'm still going to be shorting Bitcoin, continuing short from the all-time high 106 and also 96k, not closing any of my shorts, but quite the opposite. I might be actually looking to add a short if we reject off of 88k, very similar to what had happened on 96k. We saw the pump, everybody got super happy. I told you guys that this is just a potential pump within the downtrend, and that was true. So maybe that would be it. So I'm not saying that you have to be prepared for a pump, but just be cautious of whatever kind of pump we get. Every single pump that we get is shortable unless we reclaim or 88k. Then maybe I can tell you, all right, Bitcoin could have bottomed out and is going to be actually making all-time highs. So to be honest, it is totally fine as an analyst, as a full-time trader, to flip your opinion and change your opinion based on the facts if they change. So while we are maintaining the same kind of facts and structure, I don't have any sort of reason to not expect lower on Bitcoin. And add to that, obviously on Coinbase, we've been discussing how the low was put at essentially a full $10,000 number. As you can see, we put the low exactly at $60,000. So that, based on my stats, would tell me that we have a 70 to 80% chance of going back to it. Add to that, obviously, the bear structure, so it doesn't require a rocket scientist to be cautious of whatever move happen next. You have to be waiting for lower, expecting lower, predicting lower, and trying to short whatever pump happens, unless you could be one time wrong where we reclaim 88, and that's totally fine. That would actually extract us the most amount of money, because as professional traders, guys, we're only trying to make the most amount of money, not trying to predict the market. Now, with that being said, we also got new setups that I'm going to be looking for. Obviously, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I did cover the basics that I'm looking for. So, I mean, I hinted at potentially shorting 80k or 88k as a swing trade on the higher time frame, and longing a fake out of the low that was put on 60k. So on swing trades, if someone is only looking to hold the trade for days or even weeks on end, then wait for a hit of 88 for a short and a long at 60k. But if you're someone who's trying to do like me and actually take trades every single day, potentially, we can drop on the local time frame and lower time frame and look for some other ideas. So for example, I'm still waiting, for example, on the anchored view up that is sitting at 74k. That could be potentially shortable. If this is broken, wait for a fake out of 80k and 78.5. We've discussed this already. And obviously, in case or in terms for longs, I have got two ideas for long in Bitcoin. I mean, other than the one at 60k, one being literally very close to current price. We can potentially take it together today, because we got the low of Saturday, we got the NPOC at 67.6, we got the POC at 67. So maybe wait for the low to be taken out at NY open, and then we get some correction, entry, stop loss, and continue the uptrend if Bitcoin wants to continue higher. If Bitcoin loses 67, I'll cancel the idea of longing at 67, and I'll be waiting probably for either the daily at 62.8, 63k, or the drop all the way lower to get again the bigger swing trade on Bitcoin. Anyhow, I'm still bearish contextually on the higher time frame, and some sort of bullishness I think there are in the market with the bounce plus holding 67k. So just play it cautiously, take it level by level, and make the most amount of money by taking trades rather than predicting the market. Thank you guys for being amazing and for being super helpful. Helpful. Sorry for being a bit late today, but obviously better late than never, obviously, our guest. So I mean, at least I managed to catch the time before Bitcoin hits our level. So if we get a short, or sorry, a long, I'll hopefully be with you taking it and potentially discussing it and see whether I'll be taking it or not. So win or lose, take or not, I'll hopefully be discussing it and sharing my opinion and outlook on the market. Give me a second here. So that would be basically it. We'll be spending an hour, so I don't have that much time, but I mean, an hour is more than enough, I guess, to cover and take trades. Give me a second here. Let me just do the usual prepping, and then I'm going to be reading the comments. Thank you guys for being amazing, and hopefully today or this current time is a bit convenient to you guys. I know that, I mean, it messes up the schedule of showing up at the regular time, so I think we are 3 to 4 hours late, but obviously it's fine, I guess, because not being restricted to a certain time allows me the freedom of prioritizing showing up rather than feeling restricted and feeling that I either do it or not. Yeah, because had I restricted myself to a certain timing, I would have missed showing up late, if you know what I mean. So give me a second, or more than a second. I lied. Give me more than a second, and I'll do it very quickly. Let me just press on a couple of buttons, and then I'll get to reading the comments, hopefully get a discussion going, and obviously we'll be waiting for, I mean, I'm hoping to take out the weekend low so that we get a potential long, because I'm liking this long. Like, it's very technical. We are retesting 67 while simultaneously taking out all the liquidity that was built on the weekend. So it's super technical. That's how to do it, guys, to be honest. I'm going to be maybe talking in depth about the reasons of why I'm looking to long here. So maybe you can guys take note of like what sort of trades are good in terms of like opening Monday and looking for trades that would retrace the weekend, I guess. So Give me more than a second here, or I think I'm done. All right, so let's get into the comments. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for being super amazing, and I mean welcoming me with such warm comments and being nice. We got Cryptonet, Oyantumbra, how you doing? Thank you, brother. We got Sloth, Wazir, Hamad, yeah, hala. We got Joao, Hamad again, I guess. Mustafa, Maggie, how you doing? Time for shopping. That's the way to be thinking about it. Good evening, my Libyan brother. How are you doing, Vikrant? I'm doing quite alright myself. We got Hamad, champ. When I put my anchored view up from the bottom of the 20 second, well, it goes to 57. How does yours go to 67? All right, so I'm guessing you're talking about the one that was taken from the bottom. Now hold on a second. Let me see where I took it from. I took it from the 20. Yeah. So obviously it could be a difference of time frames plus difference of chart. So always chart on the same exact chart that I'm using. So you read this name out, make sure everybody's doing the TA on this, especially if you want to replicate and get the same sort of number. So yes, the only difference why we're getting such a difference in I guess anchored view up is because I mean obviously, or much likely to be just the difference of exchanges, I guess. Give me a second here. Uh, I use the Coinbase chart. Yeah, I don't know if that makes a difference. It does. If someone with 20k capital follows your strategy and trades, what is estimated profit per month? I mean, let me give you a much better answer. It's not about you following my strategy or you watching me, to be honest. It's just about how well you learn trading and how serious would you want to be taking it, to be honest, because that is the real question here. Because like I can make up a number and tell you, oh, if you follow me, you'll get a certain percentage. But no, it depends on how well or how quick you learn, to be honest. So I tell you, you can watch me every day, not because I matter, but maybe because you find the stuff that we put out helpful. Not only because like my sort of content is helpful for two ways. It's helpful for long-term education, plus short-term guidance, plus taking trades if we take the trades together. So I mean, it is a three-way, I guess, beneficial agreement, or partnership or relationship. But as told you guys, it also depends primarily on the first thing. So it's like, think about it as three pillars, just to not take it over deeply, but it's like you learning from the stuff that I put out for long-term education, you managing to understand the short-term guidance, the stuff that we talk about on a daily basis, and then like the structure and the bearishness and the bullishness or whatever, and then the how well you follow or take the same exact trades that I take. So that's the main thing. Like you can literally press the button with me live, and also like even if we don't take trades together live, for sometimes you manage to understand and like put alerts on every single setup. If you lack the fundamental the fundamental knowledge and education of how to deal with trades and TA by yourself, everything else would fall apart, to be honest. So I wouldn't be telling you to focus on a certain number or a certain return on, I guess, capital with that, but just focus on studying and learning, to be honest. Because like I would tell you, like obviously maybe you've watched them, but just watch the free trading course and watch me every day and focus on learning rather than making money. I know it sounds bad, but that is something important to be focused on, and then hopefully we'll work on the rest together. Yep. So hold on, let me see what other comments I've got. I'm totally happy to be here, guys, by the way. If I haven't said it, I want to say it again. Yo, I'm home, just got home from 4 hour work. Glad I made it here on time. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, for showing up. It's always nice to see you here. Lynn, again, thank you, brother. How are you doing? We must wait to hit the point of control 67k. What if only hit exactly? So that's why, sorry guys, I flipped my mouse over. That's why I always tell you to be someone that tries to understand concepts rather than memorize stuff. Because yes, that is a true question and a very fair question. Like, what if we don't precisely, hold on, let me make sure coin exo chart is working. What if Bitcoin doesn't precisely just takes out 67. It just hits the Coinbase, sorry, the NPOC at 67.7. Well, to be honest, it's contextual. I want to see the reaction and I want to make the decision. But yes, I can take the long without having the perfect hit of 67, because at the end of the day, 67 has two importance to me, yeah, or two reasons to be important. One, it is obviously because it is a full $1,000 number, so I'm always loving the fact, or I'll always be preferring taking it out, yeah. So obviously that's the main thing. And understand that point of control is a zone. Like we've literally shown you guys on the higher time frame that even though I've got 67k marked out as the POC, it is essentially just a range and a block of volume. Like even if like you would wanna ignore this, at even the lower time frame stuff, or the local stuff, is essentially from 68 to 66.6. So once you stop trying to memorize stuff and you get an understanding of what volume means, like no, volume would never ever be exactly at 67, like especially because this is a range that was almost a year long, or I mean, a couple of months long, 8 months long, or 10 months long. So obviously the volume would not be exactly opened at 67. It's a block, so it is a large block. But on the local time frame or the lower time frame, you can at least understand it's like from 68 to 66. So with that being said, you can not hit 67 exactly and still do it. But on the lower time frame, because like 67 on the higher time frame is support and important from 66 to 68. Now we're done with that. But on the lower time frame, for my entry, I'd prefer 67 to be taken out, not because it is important as a POC, but because it's important as a full $1,000 number. Plus, it is actually just above the low on Saturday. And I've been saying, especially guys, for those that watch me on the Moon Show, yesterday I think I said that I'd prefer Bitcoin. Like, forget about everything that is like super technical here. I've been explaining why exactly I'm going to be long in here, or what interests me to long in this zone. So I think everybody knows it. But the main thing is that we literally bottomed out on Saturday. By bottom out, I mean we put the low of Saturday here, and then we made a weekend, pump. So I'd prefer if all the weekend long people get liquidated, stopped out, fake out 67 preferably, because that's where like that's the closest $1,000 number to their low of the weekend, and then we do this. So even though that's my preferred scenario and the highest or the strongest probabilities trade to win, I'm going to be taking one which only, for example, takes out the low of 68 but doesn't take out the low of 67. So yes, you have to understand, because it is contextual, it is something that you don't memorize, and you shouldn't even try to memorize it, because that would get you confused and probably doing lots and lots of mistakes. 11 Feb 7:30 a.m. time, Beirut, Lebanon will take long. I mean, that is too specific, but you can press the button at that exact time if you do it this way. Wa alaikum salam. I took a short at 72k at the fake out, so I'm assuming this one. That is amazing. Yep. And by the way, I think yesterday someone, I'm not sure who it was, maybe they can reveal themselves, but someone shorted with Bitcoin looking like this. And I said, guys, like, if you want to short, at least wait for the fake out. Like, you're essentially being the liquidity. And if someone put the stop loss, like, if you were a gambler, you wouldn't have lost, because obviously it only wicked a bit higher. But if you were a gambler or a trader who did a mistake, not a gambler, you would have put the stop loss, like you would have entered here when you asked me the question, and put the stop loss above the wick, and you would have gotten stopped out before the move happening. So see how like that's a mistake. And by the way, I forgot who it was, but even if you didn't have a stop loss or it was too far away, I would tell you that you made a mistake. Like, you got lucky because you gambled and you didn't put a stop loss that is too tight, but it is a mistake whether you got stopped out or not. Like, regardless of you making money or not, you entered pre-liquidity sweep, so it is wrong. Yeah, and I said this yesterday. Hopefully you didn't get stopped out, but hopefully you also will be learning from it, because it's very dangerous, because it supports doing wrong stuff. For example, like if someone entered here, got lucky with the wick being too slow and then, or too low, and then it actually moved in his direction or their direction, this is essentially like pushing them to make the same mistake again. Like they made money, so they would ignore the mistake because it didn't conclude in them losing money. So that's very dangerous. Hopefully guys you understood. Like someone yesterday told me, Ahmed, I'm short, Bitcoin was this. I told them that I would have preferred you to be waiting for the highs to be taken out because you are risking being liquidity. And that is essentially what happened. They opened here. I told them we can fake out the high, not because I'm predicting it, but you have to be placing yourself with the higher probability, likelihood of actually winning, rather than being the person who gets stopped out before the move. So had you entered, or you did literally enter, I forgot who it was, but you entered here without the liquidity sweep, so you got stopped out and then price moved actually in your direction. So not because the market hates you, but because you failed to understand how exactly to enter. Yeah, so hopefully that was a good example of what not to do, I guess. And do you like to use a liquidation map? No. Unknown subject. I don't rely on the RSI. Thank you. I mean, I'm happy to make some people laugh. Happy beautiful day. Thank you, Matt Rowden. Rowden still holding my 60k long. I mean, you're a legend for that. Lifton. Sorry, I forgot your name. I think it starts with an S, but I forgot. I have a box setting at 71.5 to 73k. Now it depends on what box is that. Like I would have rather you tell me the box. We rejected constantly already. Don't see why. So all right, so let me read it again. I have a box sitting. Or let me just entertain this question. You have a box setting from 71.5 to 73k. Yeah. Because we rejected constantly already. Don't see you have any markers at those levels. Do you think that rejection level is important? Noah. Yeah, thank you for not an S, an N. Yeah, so my bad. Yes, so I hate, and I would advise against doing this because you are trading with candles. Like you are using your eyes, which is very, very easy to replicate to trade. Not because I'm hating on your resistance area, but I would tell you to look for something different. Try the stuff that I'm using. Why? Because you're essentially just using zones and boxes. Like, oh my, we rejected off of the zone, so that's resistance. We hold on. It's very confusing, and this is support. I'm going to be trading this. Guys, that's too basic. That's too beginner friendly. If you literally have a consistent win rate with doing this, then fair enough. But I would probably tell you to not do it. And rather than doing this, I would tell you to focus on liquidity. So rather than calling this as a box, and for example, this as a box, because it's very, very grade 1 level TA, that's fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But rather than seeing this or saying this, focus on volume levels, anchored VWAPs, liquidity sweeps, and that would be much, much better. So rather than buying because, for example, like assuming you have this box drawn, I'm also going to be making an assumption that you see this box as valid, the one that I drew here, yeah? So the only reason why I'm against doing this is because you'd buy just because it's a box, a visual box, if you know what I mean. Like I'm looking for liquidity sweeps. I'm looking for weekend lows to be taken out, anchored VWAPs to be hit, volume levels to be hit, previous POC. See how, not to be hating on the stuff that you're doing, but see how like it's very advanced in a profitable way. I'd hate for you to just draw a box just because it looks like it bounced from that zone and say, oh, this is my resistance area. Could make you some money. I'm not hating on it if it's working. Don't fix what's already not broken or what's working. But I would maybe tell you, just because you have a tendency to focus on consolidations, which is very nice to be trading, I would tell you to try to maybe adapt and learn liquidity. Like that would fit right in the stuff that you're doing, because rather than seeing this as a box, wait for the liquidity sweep. That happened. Yeah, I think one of our brothers here took it. I think Hamid. Yeah. So rather than seeing this as a box, wait for the liquidity sweep. Once you change your perspective from, oh, I'm trading boxes because I'm seeing them with my eyes, anybody can do that. I'm going to be thinking and locating liquidity zones where I get people to get stopped out before I enter my opposing trade. So hopefully you got the point, yeah? So it was a valid thing. Hopefully I managed to give you the answer correctly. Uh, Give me a second here. All right. But thank you though. I'm enjoying those sort of questions. Like, they're very, very nice. Hey Ahmed, I'm short from basically right here. Thoughts? I have zero thoughts because I'm I'm going. I'm hopeful to the fact that maybe you got your own reasons. Yeah. So if someone tells me I'm short here and I haven't mentioned anything of like a resistance or support here, I got no thoughts. It's like obviously, hopefully, you shorted because you knew why. Hold on. Sorry guys, I'm trying to reach or read the comments one by one. Do you think the Bybit perpetual charge is the best for volume? Why not? Binance is very, very bad liquidity, retail liquidity, fake liquidity, manipulative liquidity. If you wanna, I don't think I know. So just do this and hopefully you pray for me. Just do BTC, USD, not USDT, perpetual Bybit. Yeah, we hopefully have no debate on it. Don't debate me. Just do it. Shukran Ahmed, it was the chart. Thank you, Ahmed. No worries. You explained so simple, even idiot can. Thank you. I mean, that's hopefully good. Orop, your English is so good. Where did you learn it? Thank you for thinking that. I mean, I'll take that as a compliment. Yep. But it's not that good. It's good enough to get the point across, I guess. Coinbase or Bybit chart for more important? Bybit is important for everything, but whenever I look at the tops and bottoms. So I think everybody knows how I use it. Hello from Peru. Dennis said we had more volume on Saturday than today. That's fine, but I think that Saturday was an outlier, not something that we usually get, to be honest. So that's fine. Hold on a second. We got Yus. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. We got Mitwalli, the legend again. I closed. Yes, the short was me, bro. Thank you. I mean, I forgot, to be honest, but I closed it partially when it went to 70.2 and moved the stop loss to entry because of what you said. So I ended up not losing money. That is fine, but hopefully you also got the point of why, like you had the right idea in mind to short this zone, but you should have wait. I mean, obviously it's easy for me to tell you that in hindsight, but hopefully you understand that I also said this before it happened, not because I understand it or because I'm predicting it, but for example, like once or when you had shorted Bitcoin and you asked me this question, I told you that you should have, or I would have preferred you to wait for this. Not because I'm predicting this. Like there are three potential scenarios. One of them played out. Obviously, one scenario is that you actually got lucky and you made profits and the price dropped. You got unlucky, but Bitcoin did this and moved higher. You got also unlucky and Bitcoin did this and moved lower. So like, notice how 2 out of the 3 potential scenarios saw you lose money or saw you get stopped out. That's my point here. It's like, I'm not trying to act as if I knew that Bitcoin would take out liquidity and then move lower. No, I'm just saying that from a risk perspective or risk mitigation perspective, you entering pre-liquidity sweep essentially putting you at a disadvantage in terms of probabilities. And hopefully you got the point. Like, we could have broken out and started pumping, you would have got stopped out. We could have faked you out, which we did, and then went lower. Or obviously 1 out of 3 you get lucky and the Bitcoin price drops without taking the liquidity, and that is very dangerous. Like, just because there's a 1 out of 3 possibility that this scenario happens, thankfully it didn't, that could reinforce bad habits. Yeah, so be careful with that, Mutwalli. I know you are a bit more advanced, so you'd hopefully understand where you went wrong, but I'm just saying that this time it wasn't something that was reinforced. Sometimes you would enter, feel that you made the correct decision even though you didn't. Like, that's why I tell you guys to always evaluate your trades after they're done, for example, without looking at the outcome. Like, disregard the outcome and focus on the reasons. Like, if I had the correct entry, the correct timing, the correct reasons, and my strategy all well done, I shouldn't feel bad about losing. If I didn't have nothing that I could have fixed, if price or if future of the past repeats, unless I can avoid taking the trade because I know that the outcome would be bad. But if I cannot avoid the trade, will I be doing something different? That's a question you have to be asking yourself. Because if you literally cannot avoid taking the trade, and you know that it will lose you money, but you literally cannot make it any better, then that is fine. Like that is part of the losing parts or portion that you are supposed to be getting as a professional, hopefully a profitable trader. Now, not to over promote the free trading course, but that's exactly what was said on the video on the middle, which is like, which covers like why or how exactly you will become profitable by accepting losses. uh Hold on. So I think I got a lot of questions here. Danny, thank you for the nice kind words. Such an amazing comment. Sorry for not replying in Arabic, but thank you. I made like 55% on that short. Fine. But that's exactly why I tell you to, I couldn't care less what the outcome was. It is wrong because it is. Noah's saying, yeah, that's how my box was set. Basically, seeing it couldn't break into that zone. So as soon as it did, I shorted it, wrote it down, and closed my position. But I understand what you're saying about liquidity. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm saying that your strategy is fine and strong because you're focusing on identifying consolidation, which is the easiest thing to trade on Bitcoin because usually we consolidate. So I would tell you to one up your strategy and maybe improve it by mainly focusing on the fake outs and the liquidity sweeps plus volume levels and all of that I do. Not because it's the best, but I do feel, or I found myself that it literally made me much more profitable. So I'd love for you to test it out rather than take it at face value. Yep. Uh, Ahmed, unfortunately, I was asleep during the sweep, so I didn't take it. Yeah, that's fine. With this strategy, you cannot be consistent with profitability. Only way to do so is if you got good portfolio management and patience. Yeah, that's fair enough. So late, but here, brother, we're still waiting for 65k, 67k, not 65k. You're going to read this later, but refer to what you just said. I should have waited for the sweep. Yep, fair enough. I mean, it's easier said in hindsight, but hopefully, as I told you guys, stop letting the successful outcomes of your mistakes reinforce those mistakes. That's a very dangerous like pitfall to be falling into and getting stuck within. What about Coinbase? I'll switch to, but I've been doing it. Just trust me. Uh, all right. Thank you, Ingram, for answering the question. Hamad, now Ahmed, as a person who grew up in the UK, your English is good, very good. Thank you, Hamad, for being nice. Did you learn? No. Brother, I have a short from 71.5k. I took 20% at 69k. Sorry, you shorted 71. You took profit at 69 to make for fees and prior losses and stop loss to entry. Any suggestions? More than good, to be honest. Your entry is like your entry is amazing enough to be considered a stop loss that is like very far away. Like you're not losing money by getting the stop or moving the stop loss from like a previous price or previous week to your current entry. So you're good, to be honest. Just thanks to your amazing entry. Very true. I wrote it in my journal as one of my lessons because I trust your words. I didn't lose money. Thank you, Mitwalli. I mean, that's a good lesson to be learning from. You make money and you learn from your mistakes. Hold on. I have a limit at 67.7. I'm against trading with limit orders, but I mean, every person is a grown up, hopefully, here, so I cannot stop you from doing certain thing. What is the app? What is the name of the app where you see the chart and the anchored view up? Uh, if this is trading view, anchored view ups are not seen but are I mean are put, so I manually put those lines in. And if you're referring to the other one, it is called exo chart, so EXO charts. But it doesn't show me anchored view ups, just tells me the order flow. So yes, those are the two, I guess, two websites or tools. One is an app and one is a website, I guess. Hi Ahmed, arrived late but finally here, pumping the likes. Thank you, Kropi. Thank you, Noah, again. Thank you for understanding that. Hopefully that would help you a little bit. Biro said I set a limit order over the highs to get my trade at the sweep. Do you think this was a mistake? Yes. Guys, the whole idea of waiting for a sweep before shorting or longing is for you to see their sweep happen, like, because you did the other kind of mistake. So Mitwalli, sorry to use you guys as examples, but hopefully that's like something that's very important. I told you guys there are 3 potential outcomes when Bitcoin was here, for example. Yeah, maybe one is like getting a sweep and then it dropped lower. Yeah, that would have lost Mitwalli money but made our beer friend here some money. The other potential scenario is that we drop from here, that would have made Mitwalli money but not affected Bureau. And the third one, where both of them actually lose, is that Bitcoin just does this and then continues higher. So that's why I'm against putting limit orders at sweeps. Who told you that this would be a sweep? That's my point here. Like, you essentially also made a mistake from the 1 out of 3 potential outcome. Yeah. So you have to watch and see the reaction. Do this, see this, and then enter here, move the stop loss here, or put the stop loss here, and then if this happens and you move the stop loss here and then you get a losing trade, that would be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's very dangerous. Like, for example, now I'm waiting for a potential fake out like this. What if it does this? Like, I'm essentially putting myself in a situation where I can literally lose in a matter of seconds. Yeah. If this happens, like, we want to see the sweep, not predict the sweep, if you know what I mean. Hold on. What do you think about ICT? It's good, not the best. Most profitable traders use it, but I'd say that focusing on order flow and liquidity would be better. So I'm not against it, to be honest. I would say the ICT, learning ICT and SMC would take you away from lots and lots of bad habits. For example, they would reinforce the stuff that I say, which is like stop trading patterns, stop using indicators. So I agree with lots and lots of stuff that SMC and ICT teach, but I'm maybe not the most fan of fair value gaps and order blocks, but they're good. Yeah. So I mean, it's fine if someone is trading it. Hopefully I gave you a very, very good answer. Yeah, bro, I appreciate for Sunday live on Moonshow, pure discipline. Thank you Suraj, for your kind comments, and thank you for your appreciation. Hopefully with your kind words we keep that up. Waiting for a fake out, exactly. Patience, exactly. Now one would say, okay, what if we don't get the fake out? What if Bitcoin just pumps from 69, 70, 71, 72? Well, my friend, no trades will be taken, at least from my end. That's fine for me. Yeah. Hold on. Limit entry or market? Preferably limit, but I usually do market if I'm going to be just taking a trade on the sweep. So both are good. Yeah. But limit entry, use it as if it's a market. For example, like, if I want to do limit and I want to enter now, I would put the cost in and then start pressing on the order block, so that it's essentially marketing or entering me in market time or market entry. So limit is less fee, but I'm scared that if a regular person would hear this, they think I'm okay with putting limit orders. No, rather than putting limit orders, once Bitcoin, like, once you want to market order, like we want to jump in market, just go on to limit, press how much or enter how much you want to put in. So do by USDT, by cost. So you want to choose how much real money you want to enter with, and then start pressing on the order book. That's an easy way of updating the limit order number. Like, do it very quickly and then press the button. That's essentially just tricking the system, putting a limit order within the current close entry price, which lowers fees for entry. But if this that's sometimes too risky, because you could avoid, or you could actually risk missing out on entering at a lower price. So sometimes marketing in, I guess, is better. Yeah. So I'd rather get an entry, for example, here at 67.9 market with higher fees, than like be a bit smart and use limit and then get a fill at 68.7. So the difference is more than the fees that I'm trying to avoid, to be honest. So it depends on how stable or unstable, or how volatile or how quick the move happens. Yeah, Guys, if you've been following this guy for a while, you never set limit. Yeah, not even a while, even a week, I guess. But thank you, yeah. Matt Rowden said, I'm a gold trader. 1 year and my model is based on liquidity. I ask myself, where is the candle most likely to have liquidity? Where it's closest to on the 4 hourly. Then I go on lower time frame and look for the same liquidity and base entries around it. Amazing. So see how nice it is? Okay, I got it, bro. Thank you, Biro. What is signaling exo charts about the possibility of revisiting 67? Nothing. Guys, this is a very, very logical fallacy, I guess, if that's even a right way of using it. Because me wanting 67 and like over stressing about how good of a potential trade that could be, that literally means nothing regarding the potential drop to it. That's first of all. Second of all, it literally means nothing in terms of a guarantee of it becoming profitable. So, for example, and even playing out. So, me wanting 67.7, 67 doesn't mean that I'm expecting higher probability that we go there, nor that it means that I'm going to be taking it 100%. Maybe we can go here, see a bad reaction, avoid longing, and we drop. Or we actually see that a nice reaction, enter, and I lose. So, it doesn't guarantee entry or winning, or even the trade happening, I guess, if you know what I mean. Hold on. Since millions of people trade ICT and it's not dynamic, you cannot become profitable with it in the long run caused by alpha decay. Kind of. You could. I've got friends who use ICT and they are profitable, but you're essentially, it is famous, so that's the main thing here. You're absolutely right. And plus, it is, as I told you, it's static, not dynamic. So truly, you're not having real kind of data about trades and traders. That's why I prefer order flow. Like, no matter how many millions and billions use order flow is not magic. It's just me seeing what the market is doing. And as long as, let me tell you how, like, hopefully exo chart would still live for a long period. As long as Bitcoin remains an asset that has buys and sells and longs and shorts, exo chart will still work because it's nothing magical. It's not just me looking at stuff that are happening in the market. That's why I prefer you guys learning this. Like, it is not an indicator. It's not RSI. I'm not going to be saying the full joke, but it's not an indicator like an RSI, the MACD. It's also not a pattern. I saw a question about a pattern, I guess. Are you in any long trade? Currently not. Ferry said, I was trading using patterns, but I stopped because I didn't feel confident with these lines because I feel there is not something real or exactly. Look, so even though you putting lines would make you feel as if they sometimes work, not only are they unrealistic and fake, but also they are hard to turn into a strategy. For example, like, someone could tell me, okay, look at this, it is a trend line. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, coincidentally, and maybe not so coincidentally, maybe because many try to buy at the lines, Bitcoin does on every single asset. You can draw a line and it can show you as if it's bouncing from this line. So someone can think, oh my god, we have this line, and then hold on, this is a triangle or whatever this is, and then I wait for the fake out or the breakdown, and I short. But this is not a strategy by itself, because obviously, what if it does this and it fakes you out? That's the first thing. Second of all, like, would you really, like, think about it this, like, deep it a little bit. Forget about the success rate. Don't tell me I saw it working. Everything can work and cannot work. Yeah, everything is possible. If I draw a square, it can work sometimes even too. So the point here is not to discuss the viability and the profitability and the legitimacy, I guess, of, I mean, I'm going to be discussing legitimacy, but other than that, it is not about you seeing it work once. It is about actually deepening it and telling yourself, like, literally go in the mirror as someone who uses indicator. If anybody is listening to me, uses trend lines and uses patterns and uses indicators, yeah, market cipher B, market cipher A, RSI, MACD, whatever guys you use now. Yeah, go, like, sit in front of the mirror and say, like, does this make, like, is a hedge fund or an institutional bank, an institutional trader use a geometry shape that we learned in grade maybe one or whatever, yeah, maybe kindergarten, will they be using it to make money? Like realistically, like, do you think that sorry, I've said this before, sounds a bit bad, but I'm going to be saying it because I think that's very important to maybe get the point across. Hopefully, guys, you don't take it as me showing off or being a bit braggadocious, I guess. Yeah, but do you think that the only separating line between someone who spent years, lost money, and started and became profitable in the market, not necessarily me, but anybody like me, yeah? Do you think that the separating line between me and a person who literally just made an account on TradingView is the ability of both of us to locate triangles or patterns? Like, would you say, or would you really think that, like, me spending years learning order flow liquidity and trying to actually use a strategy that would, I mean, is more math heavy, you can literally come on the market with triangles and patterns and you would have the same outcome as me and whoever likes trying to put actual effort in? That's my point here. So I'm not hating on your little triangles, you can do them, but please don't. You can, but you don't. You shouldn't. Yes, totally. Order flow is the best. Hamad, I think trend lines are more useful in long-term frames as a tool for confidence. How? Okay, why? Like, for example, BMI. But like, okay, Hamad, that's fine. We can have a fun discussion, and that's fairly and barely, and not barely, but fairly, to be honest, fine with me. But what does it mean? Like a line coincidentally being, or looking kind of have good in terms of actually offering like bounces. Like if I draw, hold on, let me find a line. Okay, maybe this one. Okay, for example, like, or even higher time. What does it mean? If you needed to like make it a bit easier for you to actually see a trend, then that's fine. But I can see it. I mean, I can see it visually with the candles. Why do I need a line to go across it? Only 37 likes. Come on, friends. Let's smash the likes. I think once Renata stopped watching us, likes have been dropping. But thank you, Ernesto. By the way, I took a short in or at, I think you mean 70.8. All right. After the sweep, I'm waiting to. I mean, that's fair enough. Hey, brother, we learned a great deal from you how to use anchor volume. Would you be able to tell the best way to learn and practice order flow? Practice, you practice, and that's it. Learn, I'd say hopefully like me using it every day would tell you a good or some sort of idea. Basically, we need to get order flow program and learn that way. That's the only way, I guess. So not the only way, but an easier, realistic, accelerated way. I use a lot of indicators, but all the, yeah, exactly. Where's Renata? Exactly. For someone that used to put triangles and lines on a chart, always funny to make to you make fun of it. I mean, that's, thank you. The goal is to stop. Thank you for being light-hearted, I guess, and also seeing the important part of making fun of it. Like, I'm not hating on a person, guys. I don't have an agenda against a shape, a geometric shape. Yeah, so see how my English just drops sometimes weirdly. Yeah, but that's my point here. Is like, I don't have an issue with you drawing patterns. I have an issue with you fooling yourself and thinking that this would actually lead to you becoming profitable. I entered more short on the sweep. Fair enough. Seems like you're super bearish. I haven't looked at ETH. Okay, I mean, last thing we've said yesterday that I'm waiting for the revisit of 1900 or 1900 to 1920. In terms of resistance or shorts, this is a potential shortable zone like 2300, 2350. But depending on where Bitcoin actually like hits a resistance area. So I'm not totally loving this. It does sound simple, but I noticed that trend lines over a long period of time tend to be respected, but must be used with other confluence. To be honest, if we would wanna entertain this and not maybe put you on a corner, yeah, I would say that it usually works because a lot of people are using it. So I'd much rather miss the usefulness of using trend lines because they work, because everybody buys at the hit, in return of avoiding the big bad times when everyone gets faked out from those little trend lines that they're using. Hopefully you got the point. So yes, obviously a trend line can work because everybody who draws it like an obvious trend line would get people to buy at the hits. So that would push price. So it's a self-fulfilling fallacy, if you know what I mean. Yeah, or self-fulfilling prophecy. I think. Yeah, both I think are true. So yes, but I'd much rather miss on the usefulness on it in return of hopefully missing the one time where everybody gets fooled. So I don't want to be shorten. That's my issue here. It's like just because it's a fake thing, I don't want to be long in the hits, and I don't want to be shorten the breakdowns, because either I buy the hit and I get faked out and it moves lower, or I flip to someone who shorts breakdowns and then it does this and fakes me out. So you shouldn't be using it at all, even though it can sometimes seem as if it's working. So once we've deepened the fakeness and the, I guess, the or I mean how illegitimate or how fake it is, and how like how much lack in reality it is, we should not focus on the sometimes where it does work. Hopefully you got the point. That's my main idea or issue here, I guess. Some weeks ago, you used the Fibonacci golden pocket more often than now. Why is that, brother? Since an objective tool. Thank you. And see how like you've noticed that? Yes, I've started even using the Fibonacci less and less. I mean, I've already been using it as a fourth to fifth reason in conference. Like, for example, whenever I enter a trade, I usually have one reason, second, third, fourth. Maybe the fourth or the fifth would be because of the Fibonacci golden pocket. So I was very rarely using it, to be honest. Now I'm even lessening the usage of it, because it also falls within the boundaries of triangles and patterns. Because like, what do like the Fibonacci golden pocket really mean? It's primarily two things. Obviously, we can expect maybe a bounce from this zone, because this signals that the price has dropped 60 to 70% of the previous pump. So the correction is very high. So obviously it is marking a zone where it can maybe see a bounce. So it doesn't hurt to keep that in mind. But also because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So everybody's looking at the Fibonacci, buying at the Fibonacci, pushing price higher. So that's why I'm very, very cautious of using it, and I've even lessened the amount of times where I used to use it. Give me a second here, guys. I'm just doing something very, very quickly. All right, I'm waiting for you in the Arabic channel. Thank you, brother. Would you short now? Would shorten now be an option? Would be a good option? No. I mean, guys, I haven't looked on at the lower time frame. So maybe, for example, guys, I can, let me see. Volume profile, anchored view up. Do we have something here? Volume is above here, value is above here. So personally, not. Yeah, I wouldn't be short in here, to be honest. Good stop loss for Bitcoin 66.5. Stop loss for what? That's my point. Like, we can, if you're referring to the one where we planning to enter potentially along here, I would tell you against planning it so far ahead of time. What is the stop loss for this trade? For what trade? That's my point, guys. I have to be careful with what would be a good position to long lows at 67.7, 67. And obviously we have to wait for the drop. Yeah. Hold on a second. But that's, did you take some profits from your big short? No. If not, what has to happen in, thank you, Ali, for asking this amazing question. I've covered this, but I'll happily answer again. So I told you guys, I mean, I announced it, so I think it's a pretty known fact that I bought spot Bitcoin. Yep. Not because I'm bullish, but it dropped 50%. I'm an investor. Like, I'm both an investor and a trader. So if you see Ahmed being transparent and announcing to the world the not so important fact that he bought Bitcoin at 65k, that doesn't mean that Ahmed that trades every single day and shows up every day to you guys is bullish. No, I just chose a zone where it dropped 50%. I hit a logical good volume zone. Yeah, maybe it's that 20% chance we bottom out here, 80% chance we still drop to 50 or 40k or even 30. So it's a very likely chance that we drop. This is a bottom, but at least I chose a logical point to invest. So just because I invested here, I wouldn't want to close my shorts yet because nothing is bullish yet. I mean, I bought here spot, so I'll want to keep the shorts open unless I think I've made it very clear. But I'll answer you guys, Ali again, and everybody who didn't hear it. Unless we reclaim 88, so 88 would be the zone where I start clipping and closing shorts one by one. I have a short from 125, 106, and 96. So if 88 is reclaimed, not doesn't offer a short, I told you guys 88 is so pivotal to a point where it literally changes the trajectory of Bitcoin, or continues and offers a short similar to the 96k. If you guys remember, like once when I was wanting to short Bitcoin at 96k, I was saying that this short or this zone either offers me an amazing short or flips and goes to 114. Similar to here, 88 would either offer me a short or flip and becomes bullish. At the reclaim of 88, I will close 96. At the reclaim of 96, I will close 106. At the reclaim of 106, I will close the all-time high. So notice how I'm not prioritizing the maximum amount of profit, but rather I'm prioritizing hedging myself and placing myself in a situation that it's literally impossible for me to not win. Yeah. So not because I'm trying to make it seem as if, oh, whatever happens, I'm going to be coming out and telling you guys, I told you no, I told you so, I know, I won. No, I'm only winning in every single situation because I've literally put myself into a situation that allows me to win whatever kind of move happens. Hopefully you guys copy me in that way. Give me a second here. Let me see. Yep. So do you have a lot of longs? Do we have? Sorry, I'll check it out for you. I haven't paid that much attention. Nothing stands out to me. So no, I'd say that even if you want to look at the NY Open, it's 1830. So that was, I think, 2 hours and a half ago. So here, yes, nothing that large, I guess. No. Yep. Barely nothing, to be honest. The volume has been a bit steady and slow, I guess. Thank you, Nuno. How are you doing? Thank you, brother. But yeah, did you, brothers, how should I trade with my $1,000 as a new trader? Thank you for this amazing question. I would tell you to set it aside. Maybe something that would be weird for someone to say, but to be a realist here, if you're a new trader, I would tell you to put the money on the side. Just sit on it. Go watch. I'm happy for this because I'm thankfully I have like enough content to maybe point you guys at stuff. So see how like we are building. Like back then I didn't have nothing. I used to tell you guys watch the live streams. Now at least I can tell you to go and watch the free trading course playlist. Watch them one by one. So start with this one, second one, and third one. Third one is a bit advanced, but just watch it. You might as well just consume stuff. Once you watch those three, start watching the live streams for a week or two, and then maybe dabble into trying to take trades together with us. Yeah. So that's a realistic way. I'd hate for you to lose the $1,000. Yeah. But hopefully you got the point. What application do you use for order flow? ExoChart. Are there any specific settings you have for it? Yes. So obviously you'd have to set your settings, and I mean I've shown them in front of you guys. Maybe we can make a in-depth video about it. I haven't done one, so yes. But yes, I do use ExoChart, brother. Yep. And before I forget, because obviously I've changed the description now that the competition has ended, guys. So we have a new offer on weeks for those that want to actually use it and support me. You don't have to, but if you want to, I have nothing to sell you. I even wrote it here, guys. Hold on a second. No KYC, trade on weeks to support me. And then quotes, I have nothing to sell you, with a smiley. All right. So as I told you, you don't have to, but if you want to, it requires no KYC. The transfer is super easy. It supports day trading amazingly with some amazing features, such as the one that allows me to open shorts and longs together. And obviously you would get some sort of a good bonus, a half good bonus, using the affiliate. So not to sell you a dream, but obviously deposit $100, wait a week, and get a potential $20 USDT. Why do I say potential? Because obviously once you click on the first link, you sign up. So you sign up, put an email, a referral code, everything is easy, no KYC. You'll literally be able to use your account in a matter of minutes, 2 minutes if you do it quickly. But after that, you can go to the promotion part or side, and you can see the tasks. So for example, this one gives you 5 USDT by depositing 100 and then trading $1,000, meaning that you can open and close trades. Like once you reach the minimum requirement of trading 1,000, which is very easy, you'll get $5 back. Fair enough, not the biggest. But second of all, if you hold $100 net for 7 days, you get $15 cash, but it's only limited to the first 500 users. So you have to read the fine prints, so that I'm trying to be realistic with you. And then you have this little one, not that big, but you can focus on this. You can make the most out of this. It's only limited for 500 users. You deposit 100, wait 7 days, and you can be eligible, I guess, for $15 USDT cash. Everything is in the promo section, guys. So just make an account if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fair enough. If you're someone who's actively trading, so for example, someone who uses Binance or Bybit or whatever, and is actively trading with some good numbers, Weeks would support you by giving you amazing fees on the trades. Plus, obviously, you trading actively as an active real trader with me as an affiliate, just to be truthfully honest, does support me. So if you want to transfer just to support me, or to actually try Weeks, then you can do that by the affiliate link. Other than that, as I told you guys, you don't have to. Sorry for shelling it out. I try to do it once every hour, so I think that's fair enough. Do you have tools to check the overall volume liquidity? No, currently no. Make learn videos like learn video. Thank you, Ghazi. Vikrant, should I move my stop loss to the highest point so that Bitcoin chooses to consolidate in the same time I don't get stopped out? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. What highest point are we talking about? Can you show me your indicators, please? Thank you, Alex. I use 0 indicators. I got no indicators, pure price action, order flow. I look for trades using volume, liquidity, and real-time trades. Yep. A bit more boring and advanced, but that's the reality of how to make money in the market. So I got no indicators that would tell me to buy or sell, or to tell me that it's like potentially at support or at resistance. 0. So everything is closed here. All what you see here is that just my own lines that I've drew. Yeah, I just did my research on some stuff like HFT and active futures. Man, I've been trading on. I just found out I need to trade on active futures. Can you tell me more a little bit about it? I have no idea what you're referring to. 0 knowledge within that sort of stuff. I think you mean, or you're referring to prop firms. If you do, then I mean, I haven't traded on some like much, but you can try them out. Other than that, I cannot help, unfortunately. I only like to rant and speak about stuff that I feel at least I have some experience in, and I'm totally okay, and I'm totally fine personally to say that I don't know whenever I don't know. The daily high at 72.3. It doesn't matter. So I would tell you to disregard setting a stop loss somewhere away from your entry. That's totally wrong. You shouldn't be asking me where to set your stop loss, because I'm not the person who took the trade. So I mean, Vikrant, you've known this. You have to know this. You entered the short because you had your reasons. So put a stop loss wherever the reasons would get invalidated at. I cannot tell you. Like, I mean, what would be the target if you shorted here and you want maybe to book profits here? Why would you put the stop loss at the daily high? That's too far away. How much leverage should I take on for $1,000? Thank you for this question. I would tell you to watch, sorry for not giving a straight answer, but I need you to watch this 10-minute long video, which is like, this risk management strategy made me profitable. This one in the middle is very crucial, only 10 minutes, but will literally change your mindset of, or on, like, the importance of leverage and all of that. Like, it would literally make trading more realistic and boring, hopefully more profitable. Do you only trade Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP? To be honest, it ranges, and it's maybe, I guess, mood dependent mainly. Like, I'm enjoying like killing it on Bitcoin, sometimes dabbling on ETH, and that's basically it. But I've had some months, like maybe the Arabic viewers would know, because I've literally been going live for 2-3 years. I've had some months where I randomly just trade altcoins, and I make some money, I lose some money on them. So yes, I can replicate them, or I can replicate my skills, I guess, into some other altcoins, but I've been enjoying the lifestyle of maximizing profit by only trading on Bitcoin. So I guess I don't have an agenda against any other altcoins. Yeah, this video is amazing, guys. I can only suggest it. Thank you, Biro, for liking it. Glad for you guys to enjoy it. By the way, guys, just before I forget, now obviously we did speak about the affiliate for weeks, but we also got, or I also got, it is a one-man show here. We got the free Telegram channel, guys. So if you wanna maybe get more of me, sometimes I'm a bit late on the lives. Obviously, guys, by the way, I go live every single day. So even though Champs Crypto or myself and my channel, I'm not the kind of person that would be drawing lines, telling you what news would happen. It's mainly, primarily trading focused. So if you're someone who's trying to take trades with us, attend literal free live sessions every single day, because I'm enjoying actually trading with you. Then you can subscribe and hit the notification bell. Videos are boring. Videos are about trading and every setup possible in a day. Plus we go live every single day. So if you're someone who wants this kind of content, not the highest of quality, but hopefully in terms of content, but hopefully the highest quality in terms of information, plus hopefully making you money, if you want that, you can join in. If you're looking for super simplified, maybe gamified, maybe fake prediction stuff, then the channel would not maybe fit well with the stuff that you're watching. I only would tell people that are looking to make money and learn to watch me. If you're thinking about watching me for entertainment, that would be nice of you, maybe, but that would be probably not the best idea for you, to be honest. But make money and learn simultaneously is the goal that I've got for Champs Crypto. And I was saying the free Telegram channel, hold on, I think it freezed, or give me a second here. I think it freezed, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it did. All right, so that's me jinxing it, I think. So hold on, let me go here, and then, all right, so I'm not sure why, but let's flip over this. So it is also still glitched or frozen. Hold on. Yeah, so it is somehow, some way still on Champs Crypto. Maybe it's not. Let me see. Hold on, let me go live. Yeah, it is stuck on my Champs. All right, so I use it. It's a sign for you to subscribe, guys, because it got stuck. All right, we're back. Yep. Hold on a second. Yeah, but I was just saying that also just a free Telegram channel. For example, today I was 3 hours late, 4 hours late, so I made a post telling you guys I'm going to be late. So you have an idea. Yeah, because obviously I try to not make you dependent on me, but at least have myself be a guide and as a helping hand whenever someone is training on a daily basis. So you'll get to learn something new, plus I'll be with you while you are trying to replicate and get, take trades, if you know what I mean. So I'm trying my best here. Sorry if I'm lacking in some situations. I do understand that I need to work on maybe putting more educational content. We put 3 on, maybe more would need to be filmed and made, but I'm hopefully fulfilling the goals and the promises that I do give. So I'm working slowly. I know that, guys, you got so many suggestions to me, so many ideas and so many educational content you need to be put out, but at least we have one goal, I guess, which is like the priority for me, which is just showing up every single day, spending an hour to 2 to even 3 taking trades. If a trade doesn't happen, like today, we didn't get Bitcoin dropping to 67, we'll wait and hopefully got you guys informed on what to do. And for those who are used to trading a lot or to take trades a lot, I would tell you that trading is primarily waiting and being patient, and it's boring, just watching the chart and doing nothing. Marhaba, what's your take on possible all season? Greetings from Denmark. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, brother. I don't have a take on it. I've stopped giving or saying those sort of stuff like all season, Bitcoin season. Guys, you either learn to trade to make a living or invest smartly. Any kind of statement or any kind of name that seems a bit childish, it probably is. With all due respect, not to you, but I mean, I don't mean it as an insult to you, but in general, I fear that markets are getting oversimplified. Alt season is in. When alt season, when Bitcoin pump, when bull market. All of those are like super simplified stuff. I'm a trader who tries to make money every single day. I have no idea where Bitcoin will be going. Yeah. Do you trade altcoins when an alt season is coming? Yeah. So primarily when everything gets super euphoric and bullish, I just enjoy my life too much to start primarily focusing on doing live trading on altcoins. So for my Arabic viewers, they would have caught, I think that last time it comes to my mind, I think April to August was a very altcoin heavy trading session or season. Plus also the November, October time of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. Those times, like if I'm not mistaken, if you literally go to Champs Crypto Arabic and you go back to the videos and live streams, I was more focused on loving the fact of trading altcoins. So yeah, I tend to wait for things to get bullish and then make stupid money with altcoins without loving them and marrying them. So notice how I don't invest in them long term, but wait for everything to get super euphoric and get like hits here and there that would make me money. Yeah, I was saying, so April to August was bullish for altcoins. And I remember like November 2024. Yeah, this time, as you can see, we saw Bitcoin from October to like here like December. So end of 2024 was amazing on Champs Crypto Arabic. If someone has the time, just go on the Arabic channel and go to the live streams of like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or even less. Yep. And even like from April to September. So the only maybe bad thing here, guys, that Champs Crypto English hasn't been long enough for you to have maybe catch random eras of Ahmed, I guess. So like hopefully we'll get that. Like once we continue like with being consistent, we'll wait a year, 2, 3. Maybe sometimes I'll randomly start loving trading Solana, for example. So it's not necessarily about me hating on altcoins. It's just that I'm primarily mood driven. Like I'm a person who just wants to do whatever he feels like, I guess. So yes, I'm enjoying Bitcoin, killing it, I guess, on Bitcoin in terms of making money. So why would I do something else, if you know what I mean? Your real compass, akhi. For real, for real. Thank you, Khan. I'm glad to, hear that from you. Got it, brother. I assume that my entry is 71.5. 71.5. And would help as a hedge if we get along. Fair enough. Thank you, Biro. Thank you, brother. And that would basically, I think that would be it. I mean, I've covered the idea. We'll be waiting for a drop to short to long, move upwards to potential short. If someone wants to support me and start trading on weeks, that would be lovely. But you don't have to. It's only something that would be nice, I guess, for those who want to be active traders on weeks, using my affiliate as a way of showing some love. If you don't want to, that is fine. And the free Telegram channel is the place where I try and like put some more info if I can. If I don't, that at least I can send you the link whenever I go live and make videos, so you have an idea of where I go live at, right? So we should be, or you should be subbed and notification bell on. If you want to, you shouldn't, not you should be, but for those who want to not miss out on trading every single day, then I think that it is a necessity to turn the notification bell on. Anyhow, so I think we're done. Enough of me ranting on. I got more live streams to attend to, so I'll be hopefully seeing you guys tomorrow. Not same time, earlier at 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern time, which is 4 to 5 p.m. Dubai time, hopefully. So less than 20 hours from now, I'll be back on taking trades and hopefully updating you guys whether or not we took a trade on as a long or Bitcoin or not. Enjoy the rest of your night or evening or morning, even of that.